Hello everyone, my name is John Beska, also known as Electric Trumpet on Reddit or on the Electric Trumpet subreddit, as well as the website at microcosmologist.com. And I'm here today with a review of the SolidGoldFX Apollo phaser. This is a pretty neat phaser unit. It's got some interesting features, most notably the aux expression control jack here, which allows you to manually control the angle of the phase interference, which is an excellent idea that I really think more phasers should incorporate. I've got everything hooked up with the pedal board, so you'll hear the sound directly through the pedal board today. And this video, of course, is geared toward trumpet players who may be interested in using this pedal or other ones similar to it with their trumpet. Alright, so let's have a look at the Apollo. The first thing you'll notice about it is there are a lot of options for a phaser here. It is full of plenty of different ways to manipulate it. I'll go through all the different knobs here. You've got just bypass, and then you've got tap tempo to set the oscillator speed. The depth is just like any other phaser pedal, and then mode is bouncing through a series of different oscillator functions. So all the way counterclockwise bypasses it for your standard sine wave, and then as you step through each one of these notches, it switches just to a different oscillator pattern, which is pretty cool. The regen is like the feedback, and then you've got two switches here, your tap tempo multiplier, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for super fast tempo if you want it. And then this is the most interesting switch on the pedal right here. You've got a standard sine wave oscillator, which is of course being controlled by this mode here. And then fascinatingly, you've also got this R, which stands for random. So that turns us into a random position phaser interference, which is very unique, brilliant idea. And possibly even cooler, you've got the manual mode, which allows you to connect an expression pedal, as I've done here, and manually control the phase interference, which is very neat, as you'll see. And then the speed dial, which is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. And that's all the functions of the pedals. One thing I will dock points, SolidGoldFX loves these really super clicky switches, which I totally despise. So you can hear that. Boy, is that loud. Holy smokes. That will cut right through the quietest of jams with complete ease. I really hate that switch. If this were my pedal and not a rental pedal, I would tear that thing out of there and replace it with a soft touch switch. Like this one. Why couldn't they have used this switch over here? I don't know. Someone loves that really loud switch. Anyway, get over it. So I'm just going to start playing and go through some different modes. The first thing I'll do is switch it back to the normal oscillator mode. And you can hear a little bit of these different functions that are going on in this mode dial here. So I have it switched to the sine wave setting, and I'm going to turn down the feedback so it's not super extreme, as well as the depth. You can see how I've got those controls set there. So let's do a little bit of playing. And I've actually wired my pedal board a little bit different for this demonstration. I put my my delay pedal, in this case the Glass Nexus, before the Apollo, so you can better hear what it's doing, because delay feeding into a phaser, and if the phaser is later in the chain, of course that'll produce a stronger effect. So let's play with it. That's with nothing. And your expression pedal controls your depth when you're in the tap mode here. So let's switch some things around. I'm just going to kind of get maybe like infinitely repeating delay, and then play with some settings on the Apollo so you can hear how it works. Two, 4. You can hear it gets pretty extreme at the top end there. So you can hear as I'm stepping through on this mode dial, it's changing the pattern of the oscillator. Very similar to the Funkzilla pedal, which I reviewed in another video. So let's do like a classic phaser sound. I'm going to do something like slow and deep. And get rid of this crazy delay thing going on here. So there's your standard normal type of phaser things. The only thing unusual about any of that was this mode dial. So let's get into some of the interesting things that this phaser can do. The first thing that I really actually enjoy quite a bit is this randomizer function. So in order to make it kind of cut more and bounce, I generally use it with a high feedback or regen, and then a big depth. And then let's see the speed, set it to medium, and kind of move it around. And you can already hear what it's doing. It sounds a lot like a step filter, which is a neat effect. That was with a little bit of bit crusher in front of it. The only other thing going on is delay, and then I previously had used a little bit of wah, but not too much. So most of the crazy things that you hear are coming from that randomizer, which is pretty neat. I feel like what I just did right there wasn't that cool in terms of what I've done with it before. In the past, when I've jammed with it, some really neat stuff has happened with that random function. I like that a lot. When it comes time to return this pedal, I'm going to miss that. So anyway, that's really neat. It's sort of like a step filter, as I mentioned. And let's get to the main event, the manual control. So SolidGoldFX on their website says you can use this like a wah, and I think that's, basically the intention of you use this, as you can see as I vary the expression pedal here on the floor, which you can't see in the frame, that LED is showing what's happening. Most of the usable range of this expression is in the middle, so the very far end of the pedal seems to kind of lose it, like especially down here at the bottom. There's really not much going on down there. It may have to do with the potentiometer value that's in this particular expression pedal that I'm using. But this is very cool for sort of sculpting a long phrase. That's been kind of the main thing I've found out of using it, is that's really where it shines, is playing a long phrase and slowly varying the phase contextually based on what it is that you're playing. So let's see if I can try to recreate something like that right now. So through that last part there, I did one long slow climb with the expression pedal, which again is really the mode on this pedal that, oh yeah, see? That kind of thing. So if you have a long delay like this that's just repeating, and let me maybe set up a better phrase than that. Got kind of one section in there that's got some bite to it. Right there. And of course the mode. So there you go, Apollo phaser with the trumpet. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, chime in the comments and say so. Check out the other things that I've posted. I'll put some links in the description if you click show more, if you'd like to see more videos, to hear some sounds. I've got some jams that use this Apollo to some pretty cool effect. It's a pretty neat pedal. If you're looking for a phaser, it's a pretty good candidate. Thanks for watching.